We're going to update our top story right now. Multiple people hurt in the Bronx after an NYPD vehicle jumped the sidewalk. NYPD giving us a live news conference. We're going to listen in.
But while officers were responding to this call of a vehicle being stolen, we had a marked 4x4 headed northbound on Westchester Avenue. When they got to the intersection of Hoe Avenue, there was a vehicle right in front of them. The officers crossed over the double yellow line to go around the vehicle, but the vehicle made a left-hand turn, at which point the department vehicle and the civilian vehicle, they clipped each other. Their front ends clipped each other, and it caused the R&P to veer off further to its left, further northbound, and onto the sidewalk of Hoe Avenue, where approximately 6 pedestrians were standing in front of the location. The pedestrians were struck by the department vehicle. Other members of the department immediately responded there. They immediately start providing aid to the civilians, along with other members of the community that were out here. The 2 officers in the vehicle, they sustained some injuries, as well as the vehicle that was involved in the incident with the marked police car. So right now we have a total of 10 people who are injured, oldest being 65, youngest being 5 years old on the sidewalk, 2-year-old in the civilian vehicle. So as of right now, our collision investigation unit has conducted an investigation. They'll continue to talk to witnesses. They'll continue to find video, and they'll continue to piece together exactly what happened here. So at a later time, we'll have a full understanding of what occurred. But this is the initial events of what occurred earlier today.
Chief, how do you feel?
Wait, take a couple of questions. Step on, Kim. Witnesses say that the child and mother were pinned against the wall between the cruisers. Is that true?
I don't have 100% details. This is something that'll be uncovered in the investigation. But the marked vehicle was close up against the wall. There were people there. So, you know, this will be uncovered in the investigation.
Chris Jose, NBC.
You guys were responding to a car that was being stolen. Was there a chase involved here with that vehicle at all?
No chase at all. And I really want to commend the members of the 401 precinct, because they were trying to get here. They were trying to prevent that crime. They were trying to apprehend someone that was attempting to steal a vehicle, and unfortunately the accident allowed the person to steal the vehicle. So we didn't even catch the person who we were trying to get, because once that accident occurred, then the officers had to get into life-saving mode and make sure all of our civilians were okay. And all the civilians, including the officers and the motorists, were all removed to local hospitals. And again, if I didn't say it, no one is likely at this time.
Roger Stern,
how do you feel your officers were out doing their job, and for whatever reason, there are people, civilians now in the hospital? That must bother them.
Well, of course, we don't want to see anybody injured, especially when the officers were trying to do the right thing. They were trying to prevent a crime in progress. They were trying to apprehend someone who was ready to victimize a good person in the Bronx. And unfortunately, you know, this collision occurred and people were injured, including the officers. But we know that they're getting the best medical care right now. We just pray for everybody, the officers and the families.
Thank you, everybody.
Was there lights and sounds on the police cruiser, on the police vehicle?
I'll answer that. Lights and sirens were on the vehicle, yes.
Thank you, everybody.
What state are people in? How many people are critical?
Okay, to recap here, we've been listening NYPD Chief of Patrol Jeff Madry there, briefing us on what happened. Our top story this afternoon: police rushing to a 911 call, got into an accident and slammed into a sidewalk full of people, about 6 people, they said. A number of them have been taken to the hospital, 2 of them critical at last report. The 2 officers also taken to the hospital. Just another example of the mayhem that can happen in an instant in the city. These officers were simply responding to the call that had come over 911 of an attempted car theft. Apparently the car thief got away, and this was the result afterwards, after that accident.
This happening about 3 o'clock this afternoon in the Bronx. Bronx, Hoe Avenue and Westchester Avenue. 41th Precinct, these officers are from. And again, these 8 people taken to area hospitals, 8 civilians, Maurice, and 2 uniformed officers also taken to an area hospital in stable condition. A lot of things happening fast, a lot of different people, and we'll keep you updated on the conditions of everybody as well.
CBS 2's Allie Bauman's on the scene. She'll have a full report for us coming up at 6 o'clock. For now, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.